party people in the house. It's Misaki, and I got a super dope person, Raquel Franco. I would like for you to introduce yourself because I'm so excited to talk about you and all the things you have done.
Okay. Well, I'm Raquel Franco. I have 2 self-published books and just recently came out with a new poetry collection, When the Bee Stings, with Thought Catalog. I guess I got my start on Instagram. I've been writing since I was young, mostly short stories, and then I went through a bad breakup. I feel like that's such a cliche response to people getting into poetry, but I guess sometimes I think heartbreak is worse than death. And so to get it out and to heal, I started writing poetry. And then I felt like my heart went back to writing. It was something I always wanted to do as a kid. And I was like, I really want to do this. So I've been pursuing it since probably 2016. Here I am.
That's amazing. I love that though what you said about heartbreak because it's whatever gets you through it.
Yeah.
And I love that you and I met on Megan Falley's Poems That Don't Suck, and I love that question. Where are you hiding? And
Yeah.
can you tell us about your experience and maybe of that workshop and how maybe it had influenced you? Because your skills, I want to talk about this book, but like your skills is much beyond like what I would perceive as an Instagram poet per se. It's beautiful that you are masterful in like line breaks, page breaks. You definitely show a lot of different skills that we do talk about beyond just what is posted on Instagram.
Mm-hmm. Well, Megan really helped me with that. I think line breaks is something that I always studied in and I felt like was really, really important when you're reading it. I think some of the best advice I ever got was to read your poetry out loud before you post it. And that really, really helped me tremendously. But I feel like when I first started out, um, of course, it was vulnerable because I was talking about heartbreak, but I wasn't being specific. And I think that's where Megan's class really helped me about really honing in your story specifically, like where you were and who you were with. And I guess like using the 5 senses, but to your experience, not just any, because I feel like that's what a lot of Instagram poetry is. And it makes you feel because we've all felt it before. But if you can immerse yourself in someone's story, it can be more impactful. And I feel like she really, really helped me with that. And a lot of that has been put into my latest collection. So I'm really, really proud of it and excited about it.
I thought it was amazing. It really changed the way I thought about this said Instagram poetry because anybody who knows me, it comes like, okay, I done slams and that's the long form of things, and I'm like, oh shit,
Yeah.
like what? Like I remember in one of the chats, I was like, oh, I don't like it, and I got killed for that. I got killed for
Yeah.
that. Can you tell us about your experience of like, you've really carved out your own lane and your own identity through that in a sea of people who are trying to do that, and you are very unique, and that's why I believe you have successes. Can you kind of share us like how you carved your own lane, found a way to kind of separate yourself, and in a sense, how you found your own success on that?
I mean, I always have felt like I was almost a cross between this Instagram poet and contemporary poets. Like, I always wanted to tell more of a story, and it probably comes from me starting out as a writer, as a short story writer. So I feel like that's what sets me apart. And it's funny, I feel like some poets don't want to have that Instagram poet title because of the criticism that is received. But I still think, art is art and it's hard to define it, or say what's good and what isn't. And sometimes if I'm in a moment and I something comes to me and it's just a short little quote, like, so what? It's still going to help somebody. I feel like something that sets me apart and makes me more of an Instagram poet is that um I have a motive with most of the things I post, is that I want women to feel empowered. So I write a lot about that. I write about mental health, and not to say that other people don't, but when I really started to see growth is when I only focused on that message. And so sometimes it actually today gets hard when I want to write about other things and I want to post it and I'm like, "Oh, is this too depressing? Is this story
Mhm.
like too much?" Because I think that a lot of people follow me for that purpose, and people have told me that I've helped them, and that is so inspiring, and it keeps me wanting to write like shorter pieces and more inspirational pieces and quotes, but I still always am trying to put, a little imagery in there, or more metaphor to make it different, and to kind of, in the shortest way possible, tell a story. Um, and then other times, like when I take workshops and, you know, I'm writing a long form poem, like if I'm really proud of it, I'm going to post it anyway. And it is what it is. And if it, you know, people don't want to spend the time to read it, oh well. I feel like people are still inspired. And so I don't know. I feel like I just I'm still trying to learn the balance of being both, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe that's what makes me different. And I feel like sometimes I've struggled in my growth when I started to switch, where I was like, I have this desire in me to write more, and be more of a storyteller. So I think, especially with this book, I've added a lot more of that into it. And I think I will from now on. I'm just going to do both, if that makes sense.
And that makes you, because you talked about the common humanity of pain, and what I love about your book is the encouragement and empowerment that you have within this.
Mhm.
Um, if if you can share, like a lot of people try to write poetry and try to find successes within Instagram, what would be your advice for that? Um, to kind of have their own voice and find the successes that they're hoping for.
Um, I'd say connection is key.
Mm,
Trying to reach out to other poets. I mean, this community truly is amazing. And when you connect with someone, they will support you, they'll help you along the way. And I honestly don't think I would be here without some of the poets that I've met. Um, so I think reaching out and not giving up, because sometimes you'll reach out to people and they may not get back to you, but just keep trying. I think um, reaching out to people who are maybe in the same genre or maybe have the same amount of following helps as well. Read all the time, every day.
yeah.
Read as much as you can, even if it's not a genre that's like yours, it still can help you. Or if it's something that you think you might not like, but other people are reading, I read it anyway. And I actually, there's been some poetry books that I learned so much from, and I did not think I was going to. So always be reading. And I say write every day, even if it's for 5 minutes. Um, I say 15, but if you all you can do is 5 minutes, at least it's something. And also take workshops have like changed my life. So that would be my advice. And oh, post every day. I know it's like it can be hard for some people, but if you're not consistent, it's really, really, really hard to grow. So posting every day is key. I mean, there's a whole like with the Instagram algorithm, like there's hashtags that you can post, but it's like in today's world, I don't even know if they matter anymore. So there's a whole world of marketing that you can invest in. And if you want to focus on that,
Yeah.
Gary Vaynerchuk has an amazing book that can help you. Because I really think Instagram and all social media in general is a great marketing tool.
Mm,
And it has opened so many doors for me. Central Marketing Avenue. I published a anthology and short story book with them with Tyler Knott was in it. God, I can't even remember now. That's terrible. Courtney Peppernell, just a bunch of other great artists. And she just reached out to me because she found me on Instagram. So, and I've been in Rattle Magazine because somebody found me on Instagram and submitted my poem for me. So like,
Battle's a big deal. Wow. That's
yeah,
so
like
nice.
I was like, really? I was like, me? So just putting your work out there. I know some people disagree with it, and I mean it can ruin your opportunity to be published in magazines if you've put like an entire piece out there, but I really think it opens doors, and it's something that has really helped me, and you should pursue it. So,
You said so much I want to unpack.
I'm sorry. I know. It's like
No,
I
no,
keep talking.
I love it. I love it. Oh, because you're giving us so much. But one, who would you recommend like reading right now to people?
Ooh.
Because you said Gary Vee.
Yeah, and well, he's for marketing.
Okay.
For
That's really
writing.
important. Go ahead.
For writing down the bones.
Yeah.
By Natalie Goldberg is amazing, and she has a lot of writing techniques and like assignments within the book that are phenomenal. Like if you can't afford a workshop or get to one, that book is great. And I guess for marketing, there's a lot of podcasts that are really good. I haven't listened to them in a while. If you just like do a lot of Googling, but actually Gary Vaynerchuk will lead you in that direction because it'll suggest things. But he is amazing when it comes to marketing, and he just talks about being authentic. He actually doesn't think that the quality of your work has to be good, but so what you're saying and the value that you're giving, but like the quality of the video, he's like, whatever, who cares? Who cares what it looks like?
Yeah.
People care about what you're providing and giving to them. So that's something I think about when I post my poems and when I'm trying to inspire. It's like, what do people need to hear right now?
I love that.
What do I think people need, especially during the pandemic and everything that's been going on? I've been trying to think about that when I write.
What about poetry books? What do you have like any recommendations of poetry books? There's so many, I know.
I know. I'm like, oh man. And I'm constantly reading like 10 books at a time. So I love Swallowtail by I don't know how to say her last name,
Brenna Toey?
Yes, Toey.
I actually that's like my poetry. We actually met up, so that's a whole different story. But I love that book.
Yeah, that book really got me.
It was amazing.
I don't know.
That's totally legit.
I don't know. That's like the only one that's like on my mind right now.
It's an amazing book.
Yeah. It's so good.
It is. It's so masterful. And I wish she would come out with another one. I don't know if you know this, but she like became a lawyer instead.
Yeah. I didn't know that. Oh, yeah. I mean, good for her.
It is, right? Like she like went to law. That's how I like got to meet her. She was in Michigan and she went to college here, and like I was just like, hey, can I meet you? Wow. Got like met up.
That's awesome.
But anyway, I think the marketing aspect is important because nobody wants to talk about it and go, oh, it's all poetry. Really, it isn't. Like even the open mic, like I take pictures of people, nice pictures.
Yeah.
That's marketing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I will say, like your book, aesthetically, it is beautiful.
Thank you.
And I noticed when you read on your Instagram, matching colors.
Yeah. Right? Yeah.
like the aesthetic is important because like even when you ask like Megan, it's like, why do people write like the line breaks that they do? It's aesthetics.
Right.
can you kind of tell us how you kind of work on your aesthetics and you grew on that, how you chose these things, because beautiful colors.
Yeah,
um
thank
you
you.
you kind of have like a color scheme right now that you're going, which matches the book, which I
Hmm.
noticed.
Yeah. Yeah, it used to be pink.
Yes, it was
uh
beautiful. Yeah.
yeah, and that just was me when I was thinking of, branding, I wanted it to be authentic to me, and pink was just my favorite color. But actually, with this book, I had a vision in mind. I wanted it to be very plain. I wanted it to be pink and like gold letters, very feminine. But the publisher, there's already a book that looks like that.
Mm.
And so they were very against the color pink, and I was super bummed. But prior to pink, like, that color was my favorite color. And they had sent me suggestions, and I was like, well, what if we did this? Um, and so they were the ones that designed it, and we like went through colors, and like I was very specific about what I wanted the bee to look like, and the font and all that. And so that's why I changed the coloring, um, to this like Tiffany blue. But I love it, and it's funny. My friends were really happy about it. They're like, that color reminds me of you, because when I was younger, that was like my favorite color, and everything in my room was that color. So I'm actually really excited that it's changed.
I think this is the right color.
Yeah.
It just feels like that. Um, so you said this was published with a publisher,
Yeah.
which is awesome. Can I ask you about your experience of self-publishing? Because we talked about posting every day, self-publishing.
Hmm.
I've always been taught, hey, don't post it. You
Hmm.
want to get a publisher. I've been taught different things than you, but I
Hmm.
love your way of doing. I wouldn't go with a vanity press, but like,
Yeah.
because self-publishing is it's an amazing thing. Can you like kind of share your experience with that?
Yeah. Um, I mean, I went into it completely blind with the first book. I mean, I was like, okay, I just went on. It was is it KDP now? It's
Hmm.
KD. I forget. It was called Create Space before it was KDP with Amazon. And they basically give you a step by step on how to do it. And I was like, okay, I gotta find an artist. So I had to pay someone to create the cover. I had to figure out how to um, format it and everything. Um, I kind of always had a theme in mind. I feel like for years I already knew what I was going to write about. So that part was pretty easy. I feel like part of me wishes I would have waited, but I feel like there was no way of knowing what I needed to do without just doing it.
Hmm.
So I feel like if anyone's questioning whether to do it, just do it. Like the first book I actually wasn't that proud of, and later on, like a couple years later, I changed the cover and edited it myself, and like added new poems and took some out. Um, and I feel like the next time around, I actually thought about the ordering of things. Like I feel like with every new book I learned something new. And this time around, like before, I don't think that I really knew how to market a book. Like I knew how to market for social media,
Yeah.
but not specifically for a book. And what I know now
Hmm.
is so different. Um, like I was afraid, like you said, to post what was in the book.
Yeah.
But a lot of people have had a lot of success, and it seems like they've posted every page of their book on Instagram. And I am trying not to do that, but I'm trying to take that step of posting more than I normally would, to
Hmm.
getting people a peek inside. And that actually helps with sales, believe it or not. So that's been really interesting to learn and try to like let go of, because it's really hard. Like you like want to have some mystery there, but I think people forget, and I'm assuming that nobody's actually going back and like looking at all your posts prior, or I'm not really sure.
Yeah, yeah, I love how you said that because I want to bring it back to full circle of what you said of the common humanity of like
Hmm.
your fans that they message you and go, "Oh, that helped me," and I
Hmm.
believe your success is because of those relationships you created. Because even if you posted every poem on here,
Yeah,
they want to support you,
right.
and I love
That's a
that.
hope. Yeah,
Because people don't love they don't fall in love with the poem; they fall in love with the poet,
yeah,
and that's I believe that is a huge part of your success.
yeah.
And I appreciate your time today. Was there anything else that you may want to share? Any advice because you have so much to give, but like, um,
Yeah. Um, just keep going and don't give up. That's a huge one. I feel like there's so many times I wanted to give up, because social media is a beast and there are ups and downs, and there will be times where you feel like no one is listening. And like, I've thought, I'm not good at this. What am I doing? But um, it always comes back around. The sun will shine again. So just keep going. I have a story that I always tell. I took maybe 6 or 8 months off and I regret it. So I
what
think that taking a break is normal, like, if you need it, but I felt defeated and I kind of gave up. And I think that I missed out on opportunities and I will never ever do it again. So like that is my biggest thing is do not give up. If it is in your heart and you want to do it and it's the one thing you think about, and that's what you want to do with your life, then just keep going and don't stop.
I love that so much, Raquel. That's like I cannot think of a better way to end this. Thank you so much. Bye, everybody. That was.
Thank
I hope you
you.
all join us for Raquel's workshop. So bye. Thank you. And then